They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo.
So you wonder what they did?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars.
For more than 20 years, Katt Williams has built a reputation as one of the few people in Hollywood willing to say exactly what he thinks, no matter who it upsets. While most celebrities carefully choose their words to protect relationships and business deals, Katt has never seemed interested in playing that game. And according to him, one of the biggest names he's been warning people about isn't just Diddy. It's Jay-Z. Long before federal investigations turned the spotlight onto Diddy, Katt repeatedly claimed there were other powerful figures operating behind the scenes that almost nobody was willing to question. He argued that people were focusing on individual celebrities while ignoring the larger system that allowed certain people to accumulate enormous influence over the entertainment industry. Whether you agree with him or not, one thing is undeniable. Whenever Katt speaks, people listen. That became especially clear after his record-breaking appearance on Club Shay Shay in early 2024. The interview shattered viewing records, collecting tens of millions of views in a matter of weeks and becoming one of the biggest podcast interviews ever released. Most people remember the jokes, others remember the celebrity call-outs. But, according to Katt himself, the biggest revelations never even made the final edit. After the interview went viral, Katt claimed publicly that what viewers watched wasn't even his strongest material. He suggested that some of his most explosive comments had been left out, describing the published interview as only a small preview of what he actually wanted to say. That statement immediately sparked curiosity. If those were only the light punches, what exactly was left on the cutting room floor? According to people who claim to have attended private conversations with Katt in recent months, that's where the discussion allegedly became much more direct. Instead of focusing primarily on Diddy, Katt reportedly shifted his attention towards someone many consider untouchable inside the music business, Jay-Z. Now, before going any further, it's important to understand why Katt believes Jay-Z deserves that level of attention. This isn't an argument about Jay-Z's talent. Very few people question his ability as an artist. From Reasonable Doubt to becoming hip-hop's first billionaire, Jay-Z's career is one of the most successful stories in music history. He transformed himself from a Brooklyn rapper into a businessman whose influence stretches far beyond music. Today, his name is attached to artist management, sports representation, luxury brands, entertainment production, and major corporate partnerships. Few artists have ever built an empire on that scale. That's exactly why Katt believes the conversation shouldn't stop with Diddy. According to him, real influence isn't measured by record sales. It's measured by the ability to decide who gets opportunities and who doesn't. Katt argues that by the time most artists meet Jay-Z, they aren't simply meeting another rapper. They're meeting someone connected to an entire network of relationships capable of opening or closing doors throughout the entertainment business. Whether that's true is heavily debated, but it's the foundation of Katt's argument. He believes the biggest power structures in entertainment don't operate publicly. They operate quietly. Instead of making threats, influence travels through relationships, business partnerships, management companies, corporate sponsors, and the people responsible for deciding which artists receive support. That's why Katt says many people inside the industry stay silent. Not necessarily because they agree with everything happening around them, but because speaking publicly could damage careers they've spent years building. That belief isn't unique to Katt. Over the years, several other entertainers have suggested similar ideas, though often in very different ways. One of the loudest voices has been Jaguar Wright. For years, Jaguar has publicly criticized some of the industry's biggest names, including Jay-Z and Beyoncé. She has repeatedly claimed that powerful figures within the music business control opportunities for artists behind the scenes, and that many people are afraid to challenge them. Those allegations remain strongly disputed, and neither Jay-Z nor Beyoncé has accepted the accusations made against them. Even so, Jaguar's comments have gained renewed attention because they echo themes Katt has been discussing for years. Another artist who has spoken about industry power is Kanye West. During several interviews and live streams, Kanye claimed that a handful of influential people have enormous control over the entertainment business. His comments often mixed personal experiences with broader criticism of the industry, making them controversial and difficult to separate from his other public statements. Still, many viewers noticed that one part of Kanye's message sounded surprisingly familiar. He repeatedly suggested that certain individuals hold far more influence than the public realizes. That's also the central point Katt has been making. According to Katt, most fans think success in music depends entirely on talent. He argues that's only part of the equation. The other part involves relationships, business alliances, and access to powerful decision makers. In his view, once an artist reaches a certain level, they're no longer competing only through music. They're navigating an ecosystem where management companies, brand partnerships, sponsorships, media exposure, and industry connections can shape the direction of a career just as much as talent itself. That's where Katt believes Jay-Z's influence becomes impossible to ignore. Not because Jay-Z personally controls every decision, but because his network reaches so many different areas of the entertainment business that his presence is felt almost everywhere. Supporters see that as proof of extraordinary business success. Critics see it as evidence that too much influence has become concentrated around a small number of people. Either way, Katt insists this isn't simply a conversation about one celebrity. He believes it's about understanding how modern entertainment really works once artists reach the highest level. And according to him, the clearest example of that system isn't found in Jay-Z's music career. It's found in the business empire he quietly built around it. An empire that, Katt claims, reveals far more about power than any platinum album ever could. According to Katt Williams, the real influence of Jay-Z isn't limited to music. He believes Jay-Z built something much bigger than a successful career. In Katt's view, he built an ecosystem where music is only one piece of a much larger network that includes management, sports, branding, corporate partnerships, and relationships with some of the most powerful companies in entertainment. That's the distinction Katt wants people to understand. He argues that albums and awards may be what fans see, but behind the scenes, influence comes from controlling opportunities. In his opinion, the people with the greatest power aren't always the loudest. They're the ones who can quietly open doors for one artist, while those same doors suddenly close for another. Again, these are Katt's opinions and allegations, not established fact. To support his argument, Katt points to what he believes is a recurring pattern throughout the industry. According to him, artists often experience rapid success after aligning themselves with major organizations or influential figures. But he claims that when those relationships fall apart, some artists suddenly lose momentum in ways that don't always match the quality of their music or the size of their fan base. Katt believes that isn't always a coincidence. He says many people mistake these changes for bad luck or changing trends, while he sees them as examples of how influence operates behind the scenes. Whether people agree with that interpretation or not, it's become one of the central themes of his recent interviews. He's not the only person to raise questions about industry power. Over the years, Jaguar Wright has repeatedly criticized some of the biggest names in music, including Jay-Z and Beyoncé. She has claimed that artists who challenge powerful people often face consequences that the public never sees. Those allegations remain disputed, and neither Jay-Z nor Beyoncé has accepted her claims. Still, because her comments overlap with some of Katt's arguments, many people have started comparing the two. Kanye West has also spoken publicly about concentrated power inside the entertainment business. During several interviews, he argued that a small group of influential figures holds enormous control over careers, business opportunities, and public perception. His comments sparked controversy, but many viewers noticed that one idea kept resurfacing. Success in entertainment isn't determined by talent alone. Katt agrees with that idea. According to him, talent gets artists into the room, but relationships often determine how long they stay there. Another example people frequently bring up is 50 Cent. Although he hasn't made the same allegations as Katt, he's often spoken about the importance of ownership and independence. Throughout his career, 50 has repeatedly warned artists about becoming too dependent on management companies or business partnerships that may eventually control more than they expected. For Katt, those conversations all point toward the same issue. He believes the entertainment industry rewards people who build influence across multiple businesses rather than limiting themselves to music. From his perspective, Jay-Z mastered that strategy better than anyone else in hip-hop history. Supporters see that as one of the greatest business success stories ever. Critics argue that concentrating that much influence around any individual raises legitimate questions. That's where public opinion becomes divided. Some people believe Katt Williams is exposing uncomfortable truths that others are afraid to discuss. Others believe he's connecting unrelated events into a larger narrative without providing enough evidence to support every conclusion. Regardless of which side people take, one thing is clear. His comments have reignited conversations about who really holds power inside the music business and how much influence major companies, management groups, and industry relationships have over an artist's career. At the end of the day, many of the claims discussed by Katt, Jaguar Wright, and others remain allegations and personal opinions rather than proven facts. While they continue to spark debate online, they have not been established in court, and many of the people mentioned have denied wrongdoing or declined to respond. Still, Katt doesn't seem interested in backing away from the conversation. If anything, he appears more determined than ever to keep asking questions that many people in the entertainment world would rather avoid.